And very excited as well to have Sarah Hendy with us, who is our spotlight producer, because Sarah, this is exactly the kind of thing that you talk about on your programme, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I love this stuff. Love a good conversation about what culture means to us and why creativity is important. And that's something that I suppose is quite important to touch on for Month of Culture with Year of Our Island, because July, I mean, it kicked off to an amazing start with National Week, but I think it's easy for us to misunderstand exactly what culture means to us. In your opinion, what are your thoughts on what culture is to the world, but particularly the Isle of Man?
Well, culture is everything that we do as people. It's all the things that we choose to do, from music and dance, theatre, film, TV, reading books. But it's also food culture. It's also sport culture as well. It's hugely wide-ranging. And that's what was challenging for us. It's really exciting as well, because there's so much going on in July. It was just almost ready-made, and it's just about shouting about it. But we tried to look at what was special in the island, so what people really, really made a special effort for. And sometimes, I mean, in July, there's a lot of really brilliant motorsport as well as National Week, as well as different festivals, of just different celebrations. There's so much going on.
Mm-hmm. And if we were in any doubt about exactly what's been going on and what is still yet to come, you've produced this fabulous booklet, which is almost like a guide to the Month of Culture, which includes all sorts of things from, I mean, a full range of events, but also recipes, pieces of music. How did that come about? I mean, it's a brilliant little guide to this Month of Culture.
Well, we were inspired by the Dark Skies booklet that came out earlier in the year, and that was a really nice thing that people carried around with them. They didn't just use it for January. They said, oh, we're going to look for that constellation. So we thought in the same way we should have a booklet that really points people in different directions and encourages them to try new things, because that's what the Year of Our Island is about. It's about exploring more, doing more, trying something new. So we wanted a booklet that would encapsulate all of that. So it's got a bonnet recipe, and so why don't you try your hand at making bonnet? That comes from Sue Woolley's wonderful cookbook. But it may be that you're just going to go to a festival. It may be that you're going to go and hear somebody talk about something. It may be that you're going to go and watch motorsport. There's so many different ways to be involved, but we've pointed you in some of our favourite ways.
Mm-hmm. And you can also learn a little bit of Manx in the book as well. That's obviously a big part of our culture, is our language. So that was nice that we managed to get in there a little Manx lesson as well for people to get them started.
And Anna Goldsmith, you've obviously been involved in all sort of aspects of culture on the island for many years now, not least in music. A lot of people obviously know you for your music. So when you hear Breesha talking about culture in that way, does that excite you? Because I think there is that sort of misconception, isn't it, that culture is just sort of always art, but actually there is so much more. Like she mentioned motorsport in there. I just
like to think is what makes us uniquely Manx, and we are such a unique nation, and we have lots of unique festivals and days, the annual events that happen all the time, and I think that really sums up our culture. Particularly for July, it was a really lovely month to have culture, because there's such a wide spread of all those things that Breesha mentioned all going on all at the same time. So
yeah, another way to look at it is culture is what communities do, and this is where it was a ready-made programme, because communities put on some blooming excellent events. We've got really, really exciting things going on, and they'd be happening whether it was the Year of Our Island or not, but not everybody knows about them. The number of conversations I've had with people who didn't know there was a flower festival during National Week, who'd never heard of or had never been to Tynwald. They'd heard of it but they hadn't been, who didn't know that there's secret gardens trails, that didn't know that they can go to learnmanx.com and learn lots of things for free, that there's loads of music on manxmusic.com, that they can go and visit parish churches and find the Manx crosses that have got beautiful inscriptions on. So our culture is really, really varied, and I think it's exciting to see it all on one page.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got so many more events still to come. I mean, can you give us an idea of what we've got to look forward to up to the end of the month?
Does Anna want to do that?
Well, I can give you a run through of some of we've got just this goes out in the newspaper, our events, and we do a sum up, and we have some flagship events which are run through Year of Our Island, but then we like to collect in everything else that's going on, just to give people a really broad overview of all the massive amount of things that are happening at any one time. So we're just coming up to around here. We've got the Isle of Man Family History Society talk, Shakespeare in Peel Castle on the 20th and 21st, and obviously that's really popular, been going for years. The pilgrimage walks, which are starting to really grow in numbers now. Mackle Parish Day, Shakespeare in Rushen Abbey as well. the Manx Tin Whistle workshops. I think Breesha probably knows more about that than I would.
Yeah, we'll come back to that in a minute.
Manx Music Day on Manx Radio, that features in our list as well. We've got the Heritage Transport Festival, Peel Traditional Boat Weekend, and then it's topped off with the Southern Agricultural Show, and Year of Our Island will have a big presence there. So we'll be running around and asking people what it is to make, what makes us uniquely Manx.
And again, a fabulous mix of things there. And Breesha, we just touched on there this Manx Music Day, which we're doing for the very first time a week on Friday. It is exciting. Just give us a brief rundown of what that actually means then.
Well, there's lots of people involved in Manx music of all different kinds, so different genres, coming into the studio to co-host through the day, and you'll be able to hear lots of different Manx bands, Manx musicians and singers throughout the day, pre-recorded and maybe even live too.
Yeah, we're hoping to convince some people to do something live. And Anna, while you're with us as well, it is, of course, end of school on Friday. It's coming into summer for the children. It feels like it's been summer for ages already. Tell us about the Year of Our Island passport then.
So we are launching, for the start of the summer holidays, the Summer Holiday Passports, which we are aiming towards primary school children up to the age of about 11 or 12. And you'll be able to collect your passport from the Welcome Centre. It's packed full of activities, and you will be able to, and as you complete an activity at the location you complete that activity, there will be a stamp, and you can stamp your passport, and then once you've collected, I think it's 4 stamps, then you can go back to the Welcome Centre and there'll be a prize. So some of those activities include walking the trail, going out to see some of our glens and plantations, all our heritage sites. Isle of Man Transport are on board, so even if you ride the horse tram, they'll give you a stamp on the horse tram. You'll get one at the top of Snae Fell. So there'll be loads of opportunities. I think we've got around 50 different places around the island where these stamps will be located, and you only need to gather a few of them. So it's just about trying to encourage families to get out and just do something different with their summer holiday, particularly as we've got such gorgeous weather at the moment. Let's make the most of it.
And that's the thing, Breesha, isn't it? Is if you can get that sort of idea into the heads of the young people, they're starting out on the right track then.
Yeah, well, the teachers do such a fantastic job in schools. There's so much Manx culture in the schools that all the kids are really, really good at language, at music, at dance. They know their history, they know everything. And quite often they're going home and telling their parents and inspiring them. So I think it is something that we've got a really, really bright future with the young people we've got on this island.
And people can quite easily get involved in making their voices heard about the things we have on offer, how they feel about them, what they want to see more of, and what they're really enjoying. There's a new survey that's just been released, and in fact the date's been extended, hasn't it?
That's right. It's a cultural engagement survey that's available online from www.gov.im/culture. And it's available now until about mid-August. It's been extended because a few gremlins got into the works and messed with one of the questions. But it's absolutely fine now. And it's really important to capture what everybody thinks about culture and the arts, what you do at school, what your kids are doing, and what you'd like to see more of. It's a real opportunity to shape the future.
And so many people do have opinions about our culture and where we're going with culture and the future of the island. So it's so important for people, for as many people as possible, to take part and get their views across.
And it doesn't take long. I've had to go myself. And also, if you start going through it and you realise you don't have time, it's brilliant because you can save where you're at and have it emailed to you, so you can finish it at a later date, which is a reminder to myself.